today we're going to have a look at this pen, and I was rather excited to review this because it is a pen made by Bexley. Bexley pens are made in Columbus, Ohio, and I have received over the years quite a lot of requests to review a Bexley pen, but I never got around to it. And then my friend Candace said, "Oh, I have a Bexley, borrow it and review it." So here we go. This is the Bexley Imperial, and this happens to be the purple cream finish because there's a couple of finishes. Interesting pen. I rather like it. It's a very nice size, large without being cumbersome. Very attractive finish, I must say. I'll show you a better close-up when I point the camera down in a second. Rather affordable. So I think there's a lot going for this pen. I'm going to cover the parts of the pen. I'll do a writing sample. I'll tell you what I like about it and what I don't like about it. Let's get started. Okay, so here we go with the Bexley Imperial Purple Cream. As I said, made in the US, right? Columbus, Ohio. It's a torpedo-shaped body. Of course, Bexley makes all sorts of pens. I like this one. It's made of acrylic resin. It is a steel Jovo number 6 nib, in this case in medium, and Candace told me that she purchased this for $103.50 on eBay. So if the finish is discontinued, they do show up on eBay, and I don't think that is that terrible a price, given that you have a nice acrylic pen and all that. Okay, let's get started. Top of the cap, Finial, same material as the rest of the pen, kind of nice. And we have this clip, rather springy, which is kind of nice. The material really is pretty. Now, just for all of you who think, yeah, but it doesn't match up between the cap and barrel, it is actually fairly complicated to make that match up completely. So that's just the way it is. There is some sort of continuity in some spots, and I just wouldn't worry too much about it. In general, I think it's just a very pretty model. You see there's some nice iridescence there, which is really quite cool. Barrel tapers down, ends in basically nothing because it's just a solid piece. And of course you can uncap the pen by unscrewing it. Now, actually one thing before I go there. It's not a small pen. Here you have a Lamy Safari, and as you can see, this Bexley is on the larger side of things. Okay, uncap it by unscrewing. Nice larger section. The section tapers down, flares out, has that flat end, which you see quite a lot on I've seen that on many pens. Number 6 Jovo nib, medium, two-tone, has the Bexley logo laser engraved on there, and it has the M for medium, of course. The pen does post. I wouldn't necessarily post it because it becomes really big when you do that, and it's already a pretty sizable pen, I would say. Not so much in girth, but it's definitely a longer pen. Quite nice. Section does not match the material of the barrel and cap. Candace explained to me that the creators of the pen actually said that was a deliberate choice to make sure the section doesn't get stained, and I suppose this is a very cream colored material that would be prone to staining. Converter, nothing fancy there. It's just one of those push-in converters. Does what it's supposed to do, right? It draws up ink. And that's it. So, rather a nice pen. We need to see how it writes. So there we go. The Bexley, that was a terrible Imperial. This is the purple cream finish. I'm not going to bother with that. Medium steel nib, and it is a purple ink. Now I got it inked from Candace. I forgot to ask what ink it is. It's not an ink review, it is a pen review, so we're all going to have to live with that. Very pleasant writing experience. I really rather enjoy that. I don't really notice any skips, so that's really quite good. Wetness, it didn't strike me as a gusher, but properly tuned, nice ink flow. Line variation, as always, very, very careful. It is a pretty stiff steel nib, so don't expect much in ways of line variation. And then, as always, there is the reverse writing. Definitely possible. Pen will run a bit drier, but you can get away with a couple of words, and you do take this from a medium to an extra fine, I would say. And that's all there's to it. So, that's how it writes. Let's see what I like about it and what I not like about it. Alright. Sorry. What what do I like and what do I not like about the Bexley Imperial Purple Cream? I think there's a couple of things to really like. First of all, the material is very attractive. It works from a distance, it definitely works up close. Very attractive. I like the model. As I said, slightly larger pen, but not too girthy. I think this is a very nice size. I also like the number 6 nib. It's a steel nib. It's very pleasant. Sorry. Writes very smoothly, and it's a number 6 nib. So number 6 nibs are fairly ubiquitous, are easy to switch out. I think that is really great. So in that regard, I think it's a very, very nice and attractive pen. Things I don't like so much. Well, not a whole lot. My biggest issue is that the section doesn't match the rest of the pen. I think that it would look really cool if it did. But as I said before, as I understand it, that was done to make sure it doesn't get stained with ink. Now, I have had a pen in the past with this kind of color, made out of that color, had a section of that type of color, and it definitely stained with ink. Not so much from the outside, which you wipe off, but from the inside. So in that regard, I do understand the choice. It's just that if I have to nitpick, I think it would look very cool if it was a matching section. The other thing is that this step down from the barrel is rather steep, and it's great because it's completely flush, barrel and cap, but that is a significant step down, and it is really quite sharp. So in that regard, I think it has to be this way, because otherwise you wouldn't get such a nice flush model, but it is very angular and sharp, and it is a big step down. So, but if you want to have the pen and barrel flush, that's how it's going to be. So I understand that. None of these two things are very severe criticisms, I would say. Finally, the price is quite nice. Now, I'm not 100% sure what these used to cost when they were launched, but given that this was had on eBay for $103, that is not that bad. That's really not that bad. If you consider the average acrylic pen these days about $150, $160, I think this really isn't that terrible. Now, it's possible it was that price when it was launched. I don't know. In any case, you can find them on eBay for reasonable prices, it seems. That's all there's to it. The bottom line, I think it's a nice pen. Reasonable price, nice, slightly larger, writes exceptionally well. That steel nib is really superb. So very, very nice. And that's all there's to it. Candace, thanks a lot for lending me the pen. I appreciate it. I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.